Anyways, welcome to Smissmas Unedited, where I do the least amount of editing possible for a weekly podcast. Yay! Joining me is Uriah. We're going to be talking about Garten of Banban and how crappy it is, because I hate Garten of Banban with a passion. I think it's crap. I do not like Garten of Banban. I fucking hate Garten of Banban. It's so bad, and yet people will like consume every single tiny bit of Garten of Banban lore and game and merchandise, and stupid. It's really stupid. I hate it. I really don't like it. I think
it's funny.
Well, it can be funny, but like, are you really gonna have like minimal humor in favor of a decent fucking game? Cause, you know, if there's no game, why would people not just like watch something else or play something else? If it sucks, no one's gonna play it, and no one's gonna see the humor. But still, people are all over Garten of Banban because, oh my god, it's so bad, it's funny. And they put all of this, like, they allow it to exist when it fucking shouldn't. It's so dumb. Garten of Banban, fucking, like, there's no passion behind it. I already said that. But like, there's no fucking passion behind Garten of Banban. You look at the models, you look at the characters, you look at the story, you look at the world that they're in, and it is just an obnoxious fucking cash grab, attempting to play off of Mascot Horror and Five Nights at Freddy's and Poppy Playtime and other similar, you know, pieces of media. And it is really dumb. It's just not fucking worth it. Like, if you want Mascot Horror that is even somewhat decent, just play Five Nights at Freddy's. Or literally anything. Bendy and the Ink Machine is Mascot Horror. But no, we have to have stupid, crappy Garten of Banban. Ooh, it's horror for kids! And they have to put that into the fucking world as if Five Nights at Freddy's hasn't already become horror for kids. The worst part about it, in my personal opinion, is simply the fact that there's no fucking effort behind it. There's no effort. There's literally no effort. None. Absolutely zero effort put into Garten of Banban. Literally, all of their maps, all of their models are fucking base assets that you can find on fucking Unity stores, and it's just not worth it. If you want to play an hour-long walking simulator, play literally any Backrooms game. There are hundreds of free ones that you can just get on Steam. In fact, I would consider Gary's mod to be something that you could just do instead. It's literally a walking simulator. That's literally what we're doing. We are walking in circles. There is no story. There are no real characters. Yet somehow, someway, this is more entertaining than Garten of Banban. Garten of Banban is so goddamn stupid. You enter this child facility and oh no, the kiddies they're kidnapped or they're gone or something. The story doesn't even make sense. The story doesn't even straight up make any fucking sense. But like, oh, well, you have to go here and save the kids or some bullshit. But it's like, that story's already been done. And sure, you can bring up the fact that literally every story has already been done. That is, in fact, truthful. It's really hard to create a creative story at this point in time. But like, you know, you at least could try to not steal from Poppy Playtime, which in and of itself is a shitty, cash-grabby horror game, right? Like, Poppy Playtime itself is bad. So trying to mimic Poppy Playtime is by far the least flattering form of intimidation?
And,
Impersonation. Impersonation. There we go. Like, it's the least flattering form, right?
Hey, watch this.
That was really
That is
awesome,
an
Uriah.
allegory for Poppy Playtime because
The
it is a block
giant
of shit.
steamy shit in the toilet. Dude, the
Okay,
original Poppy
yeah,
Playtime was like I'm pretty sure Garden of Banban was like $2 and then $5 and then $10 or something. But like also Garden of Banban is making how many games? And it's an obvious cash grab. Poppy Playtime at least pretended to be a normal game until they decided to make NFTs, which that's a fucking choice. I don't know if you remember the Poppy Playtime NFTs, but they were attempting to sell like in-universe lore through NFTs. It was fucking weird. And you know, you could always just say, "Oh, it's just marketing nowadays. It's just marketing. It's microtransactions. It's marketing." There's a huge difference between like a $60 to $100 NFT and microtransactions. Do I agree with microtransactions? No. I think they're fucking stupid. I think they're a detriment to fucking society and is what's wrong with how we spend money in this economy. But like, come on. Really? Garden of Banban being split into as many chapters as it is, you know, at least each chapter is fairly long. Like, I watch a Garden of Banban chapter playthrough from like Markiplier or some shit, and you know, there's at least some substance to be had there. It's more than 30 minutes of walking in a fucking circle. But then you watch Poppy Playtime footage, and it's less than 20 minutes of walking in a circle in which the scariest thing to happen is that the chase sequence happens. Which, by the way, are all fucking predictable as shit. Like, not to totally shit on the people behind... Actually, you know what? Yeah. No, I am totally shitting on the people behind Poppy Playtime. Because the creators of Poppy Playtime are fucking weirdos. But, like, really? Every single ending sequence for your game is going to be a chase sequence? Like, that's stupid. That's dumb. That gets old real fucking fast. It's so dumb. It's so aggravatingly stupid that people will put so much money into these franchises, because that's what they're trying to be. They're trying to basically recreate Bendy and the Ink Machine and Five Nights at Freddy's and Baldi's Basics, even though I really don't think Baldi's Basics is a franchise, because I think it only had like 3 games and only 2 of them were popular. But like, they're trying to take that whole, you know, child-friendly, sort of nostalgic horror and kind of twist it into this, oh, I'm a new type of horror game. I'm new age. I'm so cool. And it fucking fails horribly because they're all cash grabs. And like, I could talk for hours about Poppy Playtime and how Poppy Playtime is probably one of the worst things that has ever come out of the internet. But like, do I really have an hour to talk? I mean, technically I do. I could probably talk for an hour about how Poppy Playtime is a disastrous mess of a corporate entity becoming a failed product. But you know, this is Garden of Banban centric, and how Garden of Banban is really dumb, and how the episodic release thing just does not work anymore in a modern day and age. People don't care about episodic releases. Like, no one is going to stick around a franchise that long to have episodic releases. Believe me when I say, the fucking Half-Life franchise did not survive episodic releases. We don't have an episode 3 for Half-Life 2. We have Lost Coast, which is a tech demo, but that's not an episode 3. And people couldn't think of more stories. They couldn't think of how to continue it, and what they did have to continue it wasn't, you know, agreed with by people who were producing it and led it being fucking dropped. And so, you know, having episodic releases just leads to more creative dissonance with what you're trying to create, because you're like, oh, well, we could do this in episode 4, but if we do this in episode 4, the idea we had for episode 6 doesn't work out anymore. And so you're left with this, like, mangled story in which, you know, maybe it could work. Maybe it could exist. Don't call it dog shit. I mean, call Garden of Banban dog shit, but not the other stuff. it's like maybe potentially you could have a story in which in which, you know, episodic releases work. And there's probably certain stories in which that functions really well. Like I can see, like, I don't know, potentially a zombie apocalypse story working out really well in episodic releases in which every episode is, you know, a different stage of the apocalypse taking over the world, right? Like that could really work for, you know, an episodic release system. But what Garden of Banban has is just random cutoffs with cliffhangers that don't make sense, in which random things happen and suddenly the episode is over. Oh, well, you're descending an elevator with Stinger Flynn, and wow, that's such a cool and epic, amazing climax to this super awesome and poggers story, but then it just ends, and that's it. That's all you have to show for it. That it just fucking ends, and that's it. Like, there's nothing else, and now you have to wait for the next chapter, and by the time the next chapter happens, are you really gonna care about it? Are you really gonna care enough about this story to keep buying episodes? And like, it's clearly just for the money. They could totally stick all of this story into one large release, but no, they decide to, you know, bust out everyone's wallets and fucking destroy everyone financially. Because, oh, we want to release episodes, and it's so cool that we get to have cliffhangers every 5 fucking minutes, because Garten of Banban is just not long enough to sustain this episodic release system. If you had longer episodes, maybe, potentially, you could, you know, have a longer, you know, like, episodic thing in which you have different episodes. But as it stands, Garten of Banban is just too fucking short to have an episodic release system. Like, I feel like Half-Life 2 did episodes for, you know, a story. Not the greatest, but they did it a lot better than, you know, what they could have done. So, you know, having a bunch of story and a bunch of, you know, areas and chapters and ideas introduced per episode, and even some mechanics when you got to episode 2, like, it's not the worst. You have a lot of story in each episode, and it's basically a standalone game for each and every one. But, like, Garden of Banban doesn't have that. Garden of Banban is a bunch of toddlers running around trying to do something to save something, and there's an underlying story of, like, corrupt in doctors? Like, if I asked a genuine Banban fan what the actual hell was going on in Garden of Banban, I don't think I'd get a coherent response. Because, what is the green stuff? Gigantuum? Gargantuum? Giganticism? Like, what is that? Why does that exist? Is it ever explained? No, not really. Like, there isn't enough there. And the graphics look like shit. And the story is crap. And everything that has been put into it is just kind of a dog pile of, well, here's this idea and here's that idea, and there's no real cohesion anywhere. Like, the idea of people being, or not people, but like creatures being solely created for the purpose of children entertainment and being genetically engineered to do so is a cool idea. That's a fairly interesting idea. It would be really cool to look at more of that. However, they pull it off so terribly that that storyline and that thought idea never fucking gets across. No one knows what's happening. Like, there are little things that you can pick up, like pieces of paper to pick up, that have information about each character, and they're scattered about, and you can find them and read them at your own discretion. But I'm pretty certain a lot of them have just a fucking QR code in the top corner for you to scan and be taken to a web page with either more information or an ad to buy the game. which I've never actually scanned the QR codes, so don't take my word for it. I'll probably put in post if they actually have that, because I'm pretty sure Markiplier played Garten of Banban, and he showed it a lot in his playthrough. But like, really? Really? I think
make yo-yo.
you made a yo-yo? In the
Yeah.
middle of my ramble, you made a yo-yo?
While you were rambling, yeah.
Well, I'm so glad my rambles help you be creative. Comment down below if you made anything cool while listening to me ramble. Hashtag engagement, yay! But like I was saying, there's almost no reason for a player of a game to have to leave the game and enter their fucking phone to find more information about a character. Has it been done in the past really well? It probably has. I can't think of a recent example where like QR codes and out of game information gathering has been a thing. But I think that's just because it hasn't been done well in a long time. Because it's hard to do that well. It's like, oh, take a picture of this QR code and it'll take you to a spooky website for like horror games and stuff. Like that could be a neat idea. That could be a cool concept. But like, seeing as it hasn't been done, it's probably just not a cool concept and people don't like it. I know I wouldn't like it if every time I wanted to play a video game to complete a puzzle I had to pop up my phone and, you know, scan a fucking QR code for no reason. That would be really stupid and I'd really hate that. So it's like, it's so lazy. It's the lazy man's way of making a video game, in which you take all these assets that are free on the internet and you smash them together until you have a somewhat cohesive map that doesn't even look good. Like, I'm gonna keep saying that. The maps for Garten of Banban look like total and utter ass, and I know it's probably on purpose to gather attention for the game and be like, oh, this game looks bad. It's totally a fucking marketing decision. But, like, it makes me mad. It makes me, like, horribly mad that a whole marketing decision can be made to be like, oh yeah, let's make this game super ugly and super terrible, and people are gonna play it because they think it's ugly and terrible, and we're gonna make money. That's really fucking depressing. That is a depressing way to look at video games on the market currently. Because you have so many opportunities to make a good game. So many! Every single chance and every single step you took was a fucking misstep. Somehow, you were given a 20-step dance plan, and instead of doing a waltz, you did the fucking funky chicken and had a seizure. Like, come on! You had so many chances, so many decent ideas that could have been put into a video game. You know, this whole, like, there's corruption in the scientists, and they're purposefully being douchebags to the creations, and, you know, people are struggling, and, you know, all that stuff, right? Super good idea. Like, this whole idea that children's entertainment has been fully corrupted by government greed and stuff like that. Like, that is such a good idea. How the fuck did you mess it up? You were given everything on a silver fucking platter, and you failed. You failed horribly. You walked out on stage to receive your diploma and got shot in the head by the professor. You failed. Which is such a depressing idea. It is so depressing that video games in the modern day can just be shat out onto the internet with such little care for anything happening. And I don't want to sound like a boomer. I don't want to sound like a boomer saying, oh, video games nowadays are bad. Wow, video games bad. Wow. But, like, they kind of are. I'm depressed by that, right? I really, really enjoy a lot of old video games.
Oh, you look gross.
Screenshot? I'll pose.
Too late.
I'll have to cut this out of the video. Ew, why'd you make me covered in tar?
I want to feather you later.
Oh, jeez. For my terrible takes on Garden of Banban?
Yeah.
No. But, like, you were handed so many ideas on a silver platter. You had all these magnificent ideas that you could have toyed with, that other series have already toyed with. You know, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. You have these things genetically engineered. I said genetically, they're fucking robots. But, like, engineered to be children's entertainment, being corrupted and becoming evil. And, like, you know, that's not like a super new take or a super new idea. But, like, it's an interesting one. People enjoy it, obviously. They fucking played the game and it was well received after getting multiple patch updates because for some reason developers and publishers think that it's okay to, you know, output an unfinished crappy game, which is another thing. But like the story is what I'm talking about here and now. The story is what, you know, I find most egregious about Garden of Banban. You have this idea that could totally work as a long-running franchise. Like, totally, 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 you could have this be a long-running franchise. Rainbow Friends, as shitty in Roblox as it is, could definitely work as a much longer-running franchise than what it already is. But no, we have to be cool and special, and we have to have episodic releases and creative character designs. One of the characters is a fucking corgi dinosaur that is literally a T-Rex with a corgi head strapped on it. I don't even think it's a corgi. I think it's actually called a Kittysaurus Rex or something. It's like, it's so dumb.
Incredible name.
It's, yeah, for real. But like, you have these character designs that people clearly find decent enough to continue playing your games. Even if it's like a joke playthrough and you're, this game sucks, rah, 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 right? But like, you know, at least people are playing it. That's the fucking least you could ask for. But no, you decide to fucking rob people by making every episode more expensive and, you know, creating more and more episodes that are left on cliffhangers so people have to keep buying more and more games, which then lines the pockets of people who don't fucking care. And it sounds so stupid for me to be so aggressive over video games and how the video game market is. But I really, really like video games, and I really like video game market, and I like the social aspect that comes with the internet, and how people are able to just create whatever they want and put it online. But when what you create is a steaming pile of shit covered in jizz, maybe don't put that online, and maybe keep that to yourself, because I don't want to see it, and I don't think anyone else wants to see it, and the people who do want to see it totally just want to see it so they can make fun of you, because I know that's exactly what I did with Poppy Playtime. Anyways, Poppy Playtime is shit. Poppy Playtime is crap. Poppy Playtime is dookie butt. It is so bad. I started hate watching a YouTuber who then turned around, watched one of my videos on stream, and said it was a good video. So, you know, I feel kind of guilty that I used to hate watch Astral Spiff. But, like, I like his content. It's good content. But the only reason I started watching him is because I had such a massive hate boner for Poppy Playtime. Because I watched YouTubers play it. I got interested in it. I'm like, oh, this is a cool new video game similar to Bendy and the Ink Machine. And, oh, wow, its graphics are really pretty. And this would be so interesting to, you know, look at and think about. But then I played it for 5 seconds. It crashed my computer. And I started watching what other people were saying about it, in which they're like, oh, this is a terrible game, this is horrible, this is the worst, and the company behind it is awful. I started watching what people had to say about it, and you know, there's a lot people had to say about it, which is not something that I expected, because of how outspoken so many people were in just straight up supporting it. It's like, you really want to support a company who bullied a teenager? Like, why? And like, that's a whole thing. That's a whole different thing with Mob. mob games. Like, that's a whole separate thing that could be talked about literally forever. I could talk about it forever. But, like, they put out a not super great project that was more or less a glorified walking simulator for 20 minutes that made you pay $5. And then, you know, when the game released and people played it and they expected a second chapter in a timely manner, it didn't come. Of course the second chapter didn't come in a timely manner. It's mob games, the people responsible for bullying a teenager off of the fucking internet over Minecraft parody videos. You know, you really can't expect anything but perfection from mob games, right? So, like, people started looking at Poppy Playtime, and they looked at behind the scenes and how it functioned and how the people behind the game functioned, and, you know, people started to realize that maybe it's a piece of shit. And I fully agree that it is a piece of shit. It is a piece of half-hearted, half-baked bullshit. The kind of brownies you don't even want to eat because they're just so gross, so disgusting, and been left out for 7 bajillion years to mold and rot and fill the room with the stench of hatred and disappointment. Because that's what Poppy Playtime is. It is nothing but a disgusting, rotting burger combining the worst aspects of Bendy and the Ink Machine and Poppy Playtime. Not Poppy Playtime. Five Nights at Freddy's. I am literally losing my mind over how bad and awful and terrible Poppy Playtime is. I'm literally going insane because of how much I hate it. People will be like, oh, Poppy Playtime, wow, the characters are so nice. Okay, if the characters are so nice, how come the main fucking character didn't show up until the end of the second goddamn episode, in which it was a cliffhanger, and when she did finally get to be in her own god fucking episode, you know, when she finally got to be a part of that, the thing that's on the fucking cover, you know, it took 5 seconds, and she showed up just to say a creepy line and disappear. That is so disappointing. I can and will rip into Poppy Playtime for being a horrific, half-assed, half-baked attempt at a video game. 'Cause, like, look at it, right? Look at it. You have such a decent idea that you could totally take and turn into like $1 million franchise. Right? Like, you have, again, with Garten Band, you have like this perfect opportunity to totally create something that is unique and valuable and people enjoy it and wowee. Like, you have that opportunity and you waste it. You waste it on nothingness. You absolutely squander any chance you had at being a decent piece of media. Not only from the NFTs, which is bad. That's bad. Don't do NFTs, kid. It's like drugs. It's not good for you. But, like, not only did you do that, but your content itself is just so laughably nothing. First Poppy Playtime, what was it? What did you have there? What could you do? What could you reasonably do in Poppy Playtime? Walk around for 20 minutes? That's it? That's all you could do? And then get chased by Huggy Wuggy? Their crappy replacement for Bendy, right? That's it? That's all you could do? Wow, it's so good. It's so awesome. It's such like a, you know, valuable thing everyone totally wants. Right? It's such a fucking nothing burger. And, like, it's so depressing. What is there to do in Poppy Playtime? Other than just complain about how bad it is? Because that's what I did. That's what I always do. I love complaining. I'm a big complainer. Huge complainer, actually. Massive. Absolutely egregious complainer right here. Cause like, why else would you play Poppy Playtime than to complain about how bad it is? Cause there's no substance. There's no substance in Poppy Playtime. What do? You walk around? You get jump scared by, you know, the most basic ass horror character ever? That's it? That's all you do? Not really, doesn't really sound fun. It's not. It's not fun. It's actually quite boring, if you ask me. Just walk in circles. And then what do you do for the second one? You walk in more circles and solve bare bones puzzles. It's just not good. It's just not good at all. In fact, I think it's ass. It's optimized horribly. But like, it's so bad. It's not even good bad. Like, I genuinely can't see any value coming out of Poppy Playtime. It's like, oh yay, you made NFTs, you disappointed your fan base even more than they've already been disappointed by the fact that you charged more for the second episode. Or second chapter, sorry. Everything is just by chapters now, because that's totally a great way to run your fucking business.
That's woke.
I don't think it's woke to have chapters, but I like...
Ever since Poppy Playtime went woke, it had chapters, it's true.
It's not at all the case, I do not think.
We know.
But like, come on. You're really gonna think that, oh, chapters, it's monetization. It's like, you already tried NFTs, you already figured out that that thing sucked. That wasn't gonna work for you. So now what, you're just gonna make everyone's life harder? Do the stupidest things you can do? Like, wow, man, you really blasted it out of the park with this one. I'm in a hole. From what I've seen, they've released like a co-op Poppy Playtime that is essentially Left 4 Dead, but for kids. Because that's what everything is nowadays. For kids. It's oh my god, stupid. It's like, oh yeah, we created this, you know, piece of fucking horror that has blood and gore and the murder of children. But totally, let's create Left 4 Dead for kids. That's definitely super totally what's gonna bring in the fat stacks. And it's a free-to-play co-op mode. I'm pretty sure it's a free-to-play co-op mode. So, like, who cares, really? In the long run, what's the problem? But, like, really? That's what we're gonna do? See, that was scarier than anything Poppy Playtime has ever fucking put out. This is spookier than Poppy Playtime. And they tout themselves as a horror series. It's so dumb. It's so pathetic that people have to, like, create these total cash grabs. Yeah. They have to complete these total... God, what is wrong with me? They have to create these total cash grabs in order to make any semblance of money or content, and it's so stupid. It's so dumb. It genuinely aggravates me because there are people who are putting out like actual genuine real content and then just getting shut down by the fact that, ooh, Poppy Playtime popular. I go watch Poppy Playtime now. I go play Poppy Playtime. Whee! And it's like, what are we doing? What is the purpose of this? Why are we still here? Just to suffer? It's like we're now forced as a society to accept the fact, which shouldn't be a fact, that utter total slop gets to be put on the internet and gets to be on the internet taking the attention away from real genuine products. Real genuine actual games and horror series and content are being like completely drowned out by stuff like Poppy Playtime.
Aw.
And huh?
There's a hole in the funny room you missed. That's how you got out of here.
Oh, I see. But like genuine actual content is being drowned out by shit like Poppy Playtime. There have been entire game releases of, Backrooms inspired games that just aren't being looked at because some other crappy kiddie horror game has now hit the market. And am I biased towards, Backrooms horror games? Yes, absolutely. I am totally biased towards Backrooms horror games. I really love Backrooms horror. But like, do we really have to keep, doing this whole dance of crappy horror game gets released, people play it because it is content, and then people forget about it within the next 3 weeks? Like, I am tired. I'm tired. I don't want people to keep playing schlop and, like, kind of accepting the fact that that's what we get. Because it's not. Like, there are entire communities online dedicated to modding video games to create horror series. Not even, like, unique games. Just modding games they like to create horror. So it's like, are we really going to just keep forcing ourselves to consume utter crap? And, just accept it as, how life is now. Oh, the new crappy mascot horror game, haha. Like, don't fucking encourage it. Don't encourage their, like, crap work. Don't give them money. Don't give them attention. Don't let them, have that win of having your $2 in their pocket. It's just not worth it. It's so stupid that, good games are getting shut down and turned into, baby's first horror. Choo Choo Charles. I wouldn't say it's full-on horror. I do think it is horrifying in a lot of aspects, and it definitely is a horror game, but it doesn't fall into stuff like PT or Silent Hill or, those types of horror games. But it's being lumped in with, like, mascot horror and stuff like that. And, like, it's really depressing. Honestly. It's like, Choo Choo Charles does not deserve to be put in this, like, don't put Choo Choo Charles in this same, category as Poppy Playtime or other mascot horror. Because, like, at least effort went into Choo Choo Charles. At least people tried. Like, at least it attempted to be scary. But no, with fucking Poppy Playtime and Garden of Banban, you have these horror IPs that are solely and wholly pandering to children. Which is insidious on its own. Like, that's already really freaking weird that you're going out of your way as a horror series to pander to younger audiences. Like, that's already strange. I already don't like that. But the fact that you're pandering to younger audiences and then being like, buy our NFT, buy our merch, buy this new game, buy everything, buy, when it is 100% not the kids' money. It is 1000% the parents' money that is being, like, shoved into these content farms is what they basically are. They're content farms. Fucking Garden of Banban is a fucking content farm in the same vein that Elsagate is a content farm. It is the same fucking thing. Crappy, ever so slightly inappropriate for kids content being touted as for kids, but also spooky or risque, and it's so gross. It's so insidious that things like that like get to exist online and not get told, hey, that's weird. And instead, big YouTubers like Markiplier plays it, and it's like, oh, it's Markiplier playing the funny game, the funny, scary, but for kids game. And like, it's totally not his fault. I don't blame him for the fact that he plays whatever random crappy douchebag horror game is on the market. Like, he's a YouTuber. He's got to play video games to have an income. But like, video games like Poppy Playtime and Garden of Banban should not be praised. It should not be allowed to exist online. It should not be given a space online because they are just cash grabs trying to take your money and then make you feel dumb when you play them and you just walk in a circle for 20 fucking minutes. Have I walked in a circle for 20 minutes? Yes. That's exactly what I just did. However, there's a clear-cut difference between walking in a circle for 20 minutes because you feel like it and walking in a circle for 20 minutes because a game lied to you and said it was going to have horror content when in reality you're walking in a circle for 20 minutes. There is such a difference between that. It's not even fucking funny. And in fact, I didn't walk in a circle for 20 minutes. I walked in a circle for 40 minutes because I'm pathetic and really, really like complaining. Anyways, I think that's it. I think that's gonna be it. I don't think I have much else to say other than don't play Garden of Banban and don't play Poppy Playtime and don't play similar, cash grab content farm games because they aren't worth your time and they aren't worth your money, and promoting these games leads to a bad game industry in which developers are encouraged to not put effort into anything, and it sucks. So don't play those shit games. I think that's my final takeaway. Do you have any words of wisdom, Uriah?